Morning, Wiggle Culture, Sunday 5/2. Showing you my three sisters in the greenhouse here. The main thing going on is Yukon Chief. It's been, I think, 5 weeks or so since we started off from seed. This is where we're at right now. I have opened up the greenhouse to let some air flow through. So, just a quick update on the Yukon Chief. Working on solar today. Later I'm going to do some weeding in the garden first. But I'm building this little catwalk. I'm going to put it along the back of my greenhouse. This is the insulated back wall. And I'm going to put some pipes. I'm going to put my panels along that roof line. Then I'm going to put a second line. I'm going to buy some steel poles, galvanized steel poles, and put them up on the other side of the catwalk. And then I'll have a second array behind the first array. I'll work at all the angles so there's no shade on the panels, even on December, 21st, 2nd, whatever it is, with the solstice. I'm going to design it, get this back set array as low as possible and no shade. And winter is the harder time because in the summer we're going to point it just straight up, practically. We'll put it, it's 30 degrees, so that's a pretty fair tilt. You're not going to be casting a lot of shade, but in the winter when sun's way low, it's going to cast those longer shadows, so we want to make sure we don't have our cells shading each other. So we'll work it out just right. But for now, I got to finish this catwalk, put a little ladder in, and I'll have the catwalk go all the way across the back section. I will probably, this is exactly east-west. It's pointing due south. I have these trees, I get the shade. There's the sun there. So I'm going to orient some of these panels to the west. I'm going to take advantage of this structure and put some of the panels, but they have to be on a separate circuit, because if you have panels all wired together and one gets in the shade, it pulls the whole system down. So I'll try to just have a few panels all wired in one specific system. Over there is a tall roof. That's my deep freeze. I'm going to put a solar deep freezing inside the deep freeze, just like a chest freezer. So it'll be inside that shaded, cool room, just to help it have a more stable environment even in the summer and so forth. That will be some of my solar power. I'm not trying to power the whole house, I'm just trying to power specific things. So that my deep well, probably going to have 3 panels. I found the right pump. I'll update you on all that. I want to get my water completely off grid, so this is part of that. I'll update you more on this later. I'm going to walk you over to the garden. I wanted to show you my lumber. A friend of mine considered this trash, wanted to get rid of it, was happy to give it to me. So I swooped this up. All this treated lumber, I'm repurposing every bit of it. So that was quite helpful these days and times with lumber being at such a premium. I'll definitely just pull the screws out, cut the rotten parts out, whatever I have to do, and just reuse every bit of this lumber for my catwalk. Well, look what we have there. See those little berries? Beautiful strawberries. Woohoo! Firstfruits. Even though I did find one the other day. Chives. I did thin out this mint, so the strawberries are looking nice. This is the row that I had been working on. Brought in some fertility. Started to make these little keyhole beds. The little slots are facing uphill, where we can just walk in there and work on the other parts of the bed. I pulled all those radishes out and buried them. Chop and drop type thing. I want to show you my overwintered peppers, and they are getting leaves on. I was really worried about that they might not live. So we've had some success. We shall see how it goes. Also bought these tomatoes from Walmart. My strategy is I pull the flowers off as soon as we get the flowers, because I don't want the fruit just yet. I'll pinch the flowers off, which people will think I'm crazy, but what I'm after is this right here. See the sucker coming off of that? I'm going to let it get a little longer. I'll snip it off, put it in nice moist dirt, let it root, and I'll have another plant. I'll get a jump start on the season. I'm actually using Roma. I want to get a lot of Roma plants off of one vine, so I'm not going to let this vine fruit at all. I'm just going to keep getting suckers off of it, and I'm going to do that for the other. I got Big Boy, Better Boy, and Early Girl, and I didn't get to jump on the tomatoes like I wanted. I had some problems. Chickens ate some of my seedlings in the greenhouse. So I'm kind of cheating, but this is a great way to do it. Let this thing vine and just keep plucking the suckers off. And even if you have a 50% success rate, you're going to get a lot. It's going to be so much faster than seeds. So much cheaper than buying these potted plants that have been sitting forever and not healthy. Just get a jump start on as many tomato plants as you need. You could even make a business of that and just pot them in Dixie cups and resell them. Which, if you have the time for that, it is a way. People love to buy tomato plants. It's an endless source of income if you just keep plucking the suckers off. You can just use that geometric growth rate to your advantage. So I'll show you a few things I planted. We were worried about the frost damage to the buds. Peaches are coming in just fine. Actually, this variety, and I got these little worms. Web worms. I'm gonna spray those dudes, but with neem oil. I'll show you that. I thinned out some of these strawberries, so they're looking pretty. This is kind of my newer beds here. I also hayed in underneath all my locust trees there. And some of the remnants of just some of trays and stuff that were not cared for properly. I got them out here. I water them every once in a while, and that's how I actually got these plants. I got onions, teeny tiny little onions, which will turn into big onions because I sprouted those from seed. Work much better than sets. There's some kale. My battery's going down. Egyptian walking onions and garlic. Quickly, while I have battery, I'm going to be weeding this out. This is kind of what I've already been working on, so I'll show you a picture of this later after I recharge. I have strawberries in there. I'm going to try to get them out. I have kale. Pulling out the radishes and the chickweed and other things. I'm even pulling out the wild lettuce. Whether it's ready or not, I'm going to dry that. That's a natural pain reliever. So if you're in the area and you need some pain reliever, let me know. I've got plenty of this wild lettuce. Be happy to share it with you. Also be working on that middle row today. Dealing with this washout, I'm going to put a sill in here that lets water off of this ditch into that ditch. We're going to move all this dirt, make it look like what it does down there at the end. Make 2 aisles out of this. It's just too wide to be practical. So that was my early permaculture days. This has been rototilled, so a lot of this fertility is coming right back up in this bed. I've not got far on the pasture project yet, but at least I softened the dirt and I'm catching some fertility in that Virginia clay there. So I'll show you a picture of this when we get a little more done on it today. I'm gonna have my 2 boys come out and help me for a bit. All that's been rototilled, so we have a lot of compost. I'm gonna work on this for a while, then I'm gonna go start on the solar when it gets warmer. So I'm gonna get this weeded. So we'll go culture out for now.